Alright, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to my thoughts on Torchlight for the Xbox 360. The game is probably, I think, 2 years old by now. Came out in like 2010, 2009-ish, around there. I'm obviously playing the console version, but originally it was a PC game. But, what's up, man? It's Torchlight, what's up? I've been wanting to play this for a while. It's a dungeon crawler RPG. And, you know, I've just always had this RPG craving, and I've always seen it just sitting there, and I've always wanted it. So I finally got it, and let's start off with the story first. Alright, so obviously this is probably the biggest, if not close to biggest, part of the game that wasn't really focused on. When I say that, the story is basically, it's just, it's not even necessary, really. I guess it's kind of just to push you to the next room, really. Pretty much the game starts off with you arriving in this town, and you run into this sage, and she's trying to find her master, and the town's getting attacked. So you go in this little this cave next to the mining town, and basically your partner that you're teamed up with, he basically gets ambushed by the guy you're trying to save. His name is Alaric. Alaric basically turns him into this monster with this ember ore stuff, and basically you get hit with it too, so it's only a matter of time until you turn into this monster that you're forced to fight. So pretty much from there you team up with one of the other sages, the student of this guy Alaric, and you're trying to basically get to the bottom of the dungeon, kill him while trying to basically get rid of the dark ore or ember, whatever it's called, and pretty much just save yourself. Very basic story, no character development, no really character plot. It's just pretty much a sage goes evil, tries to team up with this massive enemy down there who's the source of this evil ember corruption stuff, and it's not a story really. It's, I don't know how you'd really call it. I'm gonna disapprove the story. I can't go on very long about this. So story definitely disapprove of. Going over to gameplay though, this is definitely the gold point, the shining star of Torchlight. As I mentioned a minute ago, Torchlight is a dungeon crawler. Basically, it's not completely over the head camera view, but it's above your character. You basically explore these dungeons, and as you kill things, you get experience. You get gold. You get a lot of loot. Everything's dropping loot, so you're constantly checking new equipment out. Okay, so this thing has another enchantment that my thing doesn't have, so I'll swatch this out, get this in there. You're basically constantly upgrading your gear, is what I'm trying to get at. So it's a really interesting style of game. I've only played a couple games that do this, like Borderlands, and I guess Diablo is very known for doing this. But yeah, you really are constantly changing your equipment and taking it back to town and upgrading it, and then you have sockets where you can actually put gems into your weapons and armor and make them even stronger. There's an enchanting system where you can combine your gems to make even better gems. So there's so much replayability with this game. It sucks that the story is so short though. I mean, it took me 6 hours to beat the game, and I'm probably gonna put down another couple hours just to get the achievements. But there's a lot of potential with it. I started getting sets of armors. Like, if you collect 4 pieces of this armor set, you'll get all these crazy bonuses and stuff like that. There's a lot to this game, but ultimately though, you from town you have a bunch of NPCs that can upgrade your stuff. You can sell to, you can buy stuff from. You can get a couple quests. There really isn't that many quest people there, but there are a couple NPCs that'll give you quests that are very, very, very simple. That pretty much just repeat, really. Like one NPC had me going into the dungeons and getting ore for him like 5 times in a row. It's basically very, like, you don't have to go out of your way. There's no backtracking. It's straightforward. While you're exploring the story, you'll run into these quest items, and Just return back to town, give it to him. Kill enemies, loot enemies, come back to town, return your quests, sell your items, and all that. There's skill trees, there's stat points for every level up. In the beginning of the game you can pick between 3 classes. There's an enchanting system. The main thing though is you have a pet. Alright, so you're able to pick, I think it's like 3 pets in the beginning. There's like a wolf, a tiger, cat, and then there's like one other thing. Or maybe there was 6, I can't remember. But you basically have this pet system, and you're able to basically equip 2 spells to your pet. They don't level up or anything, but they basically, I think they get stronger as you get stronger or something. But the main thing with the pet though is you can, let's say you're in mid-dungeon, you don't really want to activate a return to town scroll. You can just give your pet the items and then it'll go sell them for you and come back after like a minute. Very interesting concept. Aside from that, you can turn your pet into monsters based on the fish you feed them. So like, you have all these fishing spots, and like, let's say I get like a firefish. It's gonna turn my dog, well, in my case, a cat, into a firefish, like a fire elemental fish monster thing, and it'll do fire attacks for like the next 300 seconds or something. It's an interesting idea, but I never really used the feeding my pet system. I don't know, it just didn't come off that handy to me. Yeah, it's basically Torchlight. Quests are very simple. Enemies are very simple. Pretty much just very repetitive. You constantly are killing enemies while picking up new gear, while going down floors in a dungeon, until you get to the bottom, and then you beat the game. I will approve gameplay though. It's definitely the main focus point of the game. It's for if you want an RPG, pretty much. As for sound, fuck you sound. It's probably one of the most forgettable voice acting and soundtracks I've heard in a while. As for major likes and dislikes, nothing really. As for armor, well, for like one, armor actually affects your appearance. I always like that when a game does that. It's a very nice touch. No dislikes really, aside from it just being really repetitive. That's about it. Okay, let's get over to the overview. Torchlight is a nice little arcade game you can download. I believe it was $15, $15 or $20. You know, it could have been a lot more if they focused on the story. I don't know what's wrong with these developers. Are they afraid of trying to make at least something with a little background? I don't know. I don't know. If I was in the position of making a story for a game, I'd pull a Hideo Kojima. Just make it crazy, man. At least then you have some people who will look at it and be like, okay, I'll try to figure out the story, because there's so much plot and stuff going on. It'd be cool, but instead they're just kind of, there's a bad guy, go find him. You know this. Like, no, that's not a story. That's bullshit. The sound design was shitty, like I mentioned. I don't know. It's really hard to want to replay this game once you beat it, you know? So definitely pick it up if you're craving an RPG. Otherwise, get it on the PC for like $5 or something when it's on sale. Torchlight 2 looks a lot better, but thank you for watching Frazzleberry.
Thanks for watching another great video from Frazzleberry!